Hey everybody, it's Miss A and I'm here with our Unit 13 review. This is letting you know what you need to study for the test, which we will have tomorrow, and also I'll give you some example problems. So the first problem on the test is converting feet to inches. So number one is feet to inches. You don't need to remember the conversions. You will be given a conversion sheet on your test, so you do not have to worry about that, but you will be converting feet to inches, and it gives you that information on the test. Number two is taking units of height, so we have feet and inches, and turning the entire height into all inches. So for example, let's say Miss Hyatt is 5 foot, let's say 6 inches. Sounds good. She's taller than me, I assume. So she's 5 foot 6 inches. What I have to do is I have to change my feet into inches, and then I have to add these inches. So for every 1 foot equals 12 inches. And I could write it this way: 1 foot, 2 foot equals 12 inches, 3 foot, another 12 inches, 4 foot, another 12 inches, 5 foot, another 12 inches. Add them all together, that's 60, and then I add the inches, so plus 6, so it equals 66 inches. That is how I would solve this. I could also do 12 times 5 because it's my unit times the number there, which equals 60, plus 6, which is 66 inches. So this is how you would solve this. The problem is very similar to that. Number 3, we are converting pounds to ounces. So here's an example. My cat weighs 13 pounds, 9 ounces. How much is that in ounces? So I would take for every 1 pound, LB is pound, equals 16 ounces. I would take 16 times 13, and I'm going to use my partial products for that. 10 and 6, 10 and 3, 1 and 1 is 1, 2 zeros, 1 and 6 is 6 and 1 0, 1 and 3 is 3 and 1 0, 3 and 6 is 18, that's 160, that's 48, 8, so that's 208 ounces, so 13 pounds is equal to 208 ounces, and then I would add my 9 ounces that I already have. So my cat weighs 217 ounces. That's very similar to what you'd be doing on the test. You're going to have to figure out an expression. So how would you solve for a conversion? Solving for a conversion. So here's an example. So solve for a conversion. So for example, if I have a bag of flour that weighs 5 pounds. So that's my flour, F-L-O-U-R, because it is the type that you bake with. I have a 5-pound bag of flour. What is the expression that you would use to solve this? Well, for one, LB equals 16 OZs. So it would be 16 times 5. That is an expression to solve. They're not asking for the answer. They're asking for the conversion expression. Let me move that over a little bit. So they're asking for the conversion expression. You will need to be able to identify a 2-column table using the conversion chart. So if I have 1, 7, 2, 14, 3, 21, and 4, 28, you would have to use the conversion table. It will tell you what unit of measurement it is, and this would be time. So looking at this particular unit, I could see for every 1 week, there's 7 days. So I would be able to label it that way. They want to know the labels. So you need to be able to figure out which labels. And there could be a multitude of labels. So for example, I have kilograms and grams. If it has 1 to 1,000 and 2 to 2,000 and 3 to 3,000, This 2-column chart could actually be grams to milligrams, mg, or it could be kilograms to grams. So there might be a multitude of labels, and that's okay. That would be a multi-response. And I will let you know, number 6 is a multi-response problem. So more than one answer. All right, let's look at the next one. We have to have elapsed time. Now, elapsed time, let's go ahead and I'll put up one of the problems that we had for our review in elapsed time. So it said Maya's band rehearsal began at 10:30 a.m. And they practiced for 1 hour, practiced for 1 hour, 40 minutes. What time did they stop? So there's a couple of ways I can solve this. So what they're asking is stop time. And this is what I know. I began at 10:30. So I could write it out like this. And since the stop time is after 10:30, I can add 1 hour, 40 minutes. 0 and 0 is 0. 3 and 4 is 7. And 10 and 1 is 11. Now, we know that time cannot have 70. So I'm subtracting out 60 minutes, which is 1 whole hour. So 70 minus 60 is 10. And I'm giving that whole hour over to the hours. So 11 plus 1 is 12. And that is 12:10, and it would be p.m. because our start time was a.m. And once you cross over to the 12, it switches units, so it goes from a.m. to p.m. So you have to be able to solve elapsed time. You can also do it using a number line. 10:30 is the time that I begin. This is 12:30, and this is 11:30. I just do it hour increments. All right, 1 hour, 1 hour. And then it said 40 minutes, so I'm going to do 30 minutes plus 30, and I write it so I don't get confused. So plus 30 minutes, well, that's 12 o'clock, and then 10 more minutes is 12:10 plus 10 minutes. So that's a way you can solve elapsed time. You can use either way. You just need to make sure that you're working in your increments of 60. That's the biggest problem where kids tend to make a mistake. You will have to be able to figure out how much time you spent on an event. So for example, we went out in our garden at 12:10 p.m. We returned to class, so we went out at 12:10. We returned to class at 12:45. What are they asking? How much time were we outside? So asking, how much time? This is an example of a type of problem we have. So you could go 12:10, and then let's do 20 minutes or 10 minutes, that's 12:20. Another 10 minutes, 12:30. Another 10 minutes, 12:40. And then from 40 to 45 is 5 minutes. So I put a 5 there, that's 12:45. And then we add up 10, 20, 30, 35 equals 35 minutes. You could also subtract 12:45 minus 12:10. 5 minus 0 is 5. 4 minus 3, or 4 minus 1 is 3. And then obviously 12 minus 12 is 0. 35 minutes. You could also solve it this way, either way, but you do have a question that will resemble that situation. You will have to add units. So for example, I read a book. So here's an example. I read a book for 47 minutes on Monday. On Tuesday, I did 51 minutes. On Wednesday, I did 39 minutes. How much time did I read? Now, I will add all these together, 47, 51, and 39. I will add them together. That's 16, 17, regroup of 1, 5, 10, 13. So I read for 137 minutes. it may ask you to put it into a different unit. So it may say, well, how many hours is that? So 137 minus 60. Minus 60. So, and I'm at 17. So that's 2 hours and 17 minutes. You might have to do something like that and convert your answer. And the last few things you're going to have to do is talk about all right, you're going to have to answer questions based on your line plot data. So it will give you a line plot, and you will have to solve questions. So here's an example. We have 9, 10, 11, and 12-year-olds in the class. Let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, and none. So using this data, I have to solve which number of students occurred most often, or which age occurs most often in the classroom. I would count the number of X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 9 years occurs most often. Which occurs least often? Well, that would be 12. 12 years occurs least often. You have to be able to interpret the data on the chart. They may ask how many students were in the class. That's when I would count all my X's. So that's 7, 6, that's 13, 14, 15 students in the classroom. They may ask the difference between the oldest age and the youngest age. So 11 minus 9 equals 2-year difference. They could ask, what is the total combined age of all the students? Well, that would be 9 times 7, which is 63. 6 times 10, which is 60, and 11 times 2, which is 22, and I would add these numbers together, 63, 60, and 22. So there could be several different types of questions that you would answer, and that would be 145 years altogether if I counted everybody's age. So there will be questions like that, and you will also have to compare units. So let's say I have 80 or 94 ounces and 16 lbs, which is bigger. I have ounces I can leave. I would change this. So 16 times 16. I'm going to use my partial products. 10 and 6 and 10 and 6. 100, 60, 60, 36, 160, and 96. That's 256. So 94 or 256 ounces, which is bigger? Well, 256. And you have to be able to explain how you did that. So you're going to need to be able to explain. I changed my pounds to ounces so I could compare like units. Once I did that, I looked for the number that was bigger, and the bigger number is the one that gets eaten. So you'd have to be able to explain to do that. All right, hit subscribe, guys. Give me some likes, hit some messages. Let me know that you are here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Hopefully this will help you.